sit here and just stare at each other for 2 minutes?
I don't.
This is your 2-minute warning. You got 2 minutes to not join in and not watch us.
Woo!
Otherwise, you're here. So this is our pregame show. This is the 2-minute warning. This is the creme de la creme. This is the blooper reel.
The blooper reel. Now that's...
This is where you might get the blooper reel. Gives you 2 minutes to hit buttons before we actually start, instead of me going la 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 la. So I can do that now in the 2 minutes early thing.
That's true. We appreciate your la da 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 da's.
Yeah. Do 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 do.
That's all
that kind of
absolutely
thing.
True. Yes.
Yeah, so we already did a reblog-a-tog, which Alan will post up sometime in the next 3 weeks.
Hey, I lost power, and that was kind of...
lost power, like, that's an excuse.
Right. Sorry.
The Wi-Fi is just out there. Come on.
It's just out.
It's just out there.
Thankfully, my computer doesn't need electricity to run, so I have...
It's got a battery.
How long do you think that battery lasts? How long do you think it takes to edit a video?
I don't know. You should have had it edited before the power went out.
Well, now you're just getting silly.
We shot it on Thursday. The power went out on Monday?
Yes, that's true.
All right. I'm just saying. Somebody get their head out of their hiney. Sorry, were you busy at your job?
Hey, I go back to work tomorrow. I was at work before I came here tonight.
That's right. Are you guys actually going to have movies to show?
No movies.
No movies? The bowling alley's open.
The bowling alley will be open, and the arcade will be open, and laser tag. Bowling, arcade, and laser tag to start.
There you go. So if you're around Mountain Grove, come on down to Fun City. We'll give them a shout out right here.
Yes.
And
we will be
play
opening
some
up on Friday, 3 o'clock. We'll officially be open for the first time in 50 days.
3 o'clock?
3 o'clock.
That's even early, isn't it?
No, we always open at 3 on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Like I would know. I'm here at 3 o'clock on Fridays. I wouldn't even know. Hey, we see some people tuning in there. There's a Chucky person, a Barton person.
Yeah, them numbers are starting to grow.
Shirley person.
My dear wife.
All right, we started a little early so that we could gain some momentum, but we're losing momentum now. They're going, what are these guys doing?
Hey, I'm just waiting for you to get ready here.
Did you get all your buttons hit?
There's enough buttons hit.
Everybody's wanting to know if you get your buttons hit.
Nobody's saying...
They're telecommunicating it to me.
That's not a telecommunication. Never mind.
Yeah, it is. Telepathy. Telecommunication.
You're absolutely correct.
That's exactly what it is. Hey, anyway, welcome to another Grammy-nominated episode of Chatter of the Squirrels. Alan and I will once again be singing the news of all that is worthy to be sung. So stay tuned to our MTG station, and you might just hear something you like. After the regular features tonight, which will be pretty short because there's not a lot going on, we will be finishing up our Ikoria review with the Commons.
Yes.
Because next week, we'll actually have the cards in hand on next Friday.
Yeah.
So we will have another chatter episode, but we'll be done with the reviews. Yeah.
Yep.
But we are doing the Commons tonight, so you don't want to miss that. That's the meat of the set where most of the play happens in your limited formats.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about those. So anyway, there's still no events because there's still that thing out there.
Yeah. C word.
The world is starting to open back up, but social distancing's still a thing. But maybe June.
Yeah.
We'll see when we can get events rolling again. We are going to do some little 8-player pods for the release next Friday. So tell all your friends.
Right.
I've got one of them filled up, another one almost full, a couple others with some people in them. So if you're local and you're wanting to come out and play, let me know. PM me, come in, message me afterwards, whatever. Hit me up on Facebook, and we'll get you registered up for one of those slots. You're going to wear a mask. You're not going to cut or touch your opponent's cards. And is that mainly it?
That's mainly
That's mainly. I've seen a lot of places that were worried about bathrooms. I've seen places that closed their bathrooms because of COVID. But I was at Bass Pro this past Monday, and their bathrooms were open, and there wasn't nobody there wiping up after I peed. So I mean, it's a matter of where you want to draw your line, and I respect wherever you want to draw yours, as long as you respect wherever I want to draw mine. So we're going to try to take precautions, and we're going to try to have a good time and play some Magic for the first time in 50 days or whatever, So that's what's going to be happening there. That's the only event type things I got going all month for May, is just to get some of those release events held that day. You can also pick up your product as soon as I open next Friday, a week from tomorrow. You can pick up all the product you pre-ordered and prepaid for at noon when I open up. So come see me and pick up your stuff. I'll have it ready to go. All right, so we talked about that. Yep. Talked about that. Hopefully we get some F&M back in June. We'll hopefully do that. Get some Commander pods going and whatnot. Had some Commander at my house this last Sunday.
As did I.
Nobody busted in, so I guess we did all right. All right, so next Wednesday, you need to tune in. What time are we going to do that?
I don't know. I haven't talked to Shirley yet, but about that time.
He ain't talked to the boss yet. We need to do 2 box breaks, Shirley. What time can we do that next Wednesday night? Since you're in there, I saw you. Oh, Ivan's in there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Can we do it at like 7:30 so we can get it done before midnight? Is it earlier better? Maybe she'll post something in there and we'll let you know. We'll be doing 2 box breaks. Yes, 2. And we're going to do them individually. So we'll do one, Facebook Live, stream it. Then we'll break so that we can reset everything. And then we'll do the next one. Because you may be in one or both, and maybe you just want to watch one or the other.
Yeah.
But we're going to do them separate. We'll end the stream, and then we'll start back up with a new stream to do the second one on Wednesday night. Probably sometime between 7 and 8 again.
Yep.
If the boss will tell us, we'll know when we can do it. Also, don't want you to forget that all this month, every time you come in, make a purchase, you're going to get a free entry into a drawing for this big old bag full of board games.
Yep.
Plus, you get the bag. It's got to be at least...
It's a real nice bag.
$300 to $350 worth of stuff. That bag, depending on what it's worth. There's about $250 worth of game-related merchandise in there. So, come in, make a purchase, get a free entry into the drawing. I'm going to draw that out on our first chatter in June. So, that's June 4th, I think it was. Episode 68, if I remember correctly.
That seems correct.
Yep. You can also check out the new... I'm calling it... I was trying to come up with something cutesy.
Yeah.
Did you read that?
I did.
The Modular Deck Building Commander Layout, or the MDC. If we want to go really weird, we can call it the 1650. Who out there can tell me why we would call it the 1650?
That one I got you. I know exactly what I would call it.
Okay.
I had to look at it closer.
Yeah. So that's why I said the MDCL. Anyway, I've been putting together lands for land packs to do 2-color commander decks, 3-color commander decks. I did some green creature ramp, some green spell ramp. I worked on black creature kill spells. I'm working on black creatures right now, making packs of them so that if you want to build a deck that uses this type of thing, you just buy this pack of stuff and you're good to go. So most of the packs have 10 cards in them that fit a theme. So I'm going to be working through all the colors, and then once I get through all that kind of thing, I'll go tribal. I'll do elves, goblins, elementals, things of that nature.
Right.
Angels, maybe. I don't know if there's enough commons, because it's mainly commons and uncommons.
Right.
It's a beginner kind of thing. It's not like chock full of rares for $250 or $5.
Right.
You know, it's not that meaty. But anyway, something I've been thinking about for a long time, and now that I got all my cards up front, it's a lot easier to go through and pull these things since they're all sorted now. So anyway, we already went over that.
Yeah, we have an MTG companion app, guys.
Yeah, it's not going to become imperative right away, but when we start having events again, it would really help if you had the MTG companion app, because when Wizard Event Reporter, WER, when it goes away, sometime in the next couple months, then I'll have the Event Link system to run it through, and it would really help. You won't have to have MTG Companion, but it would be helpful if you did.
Yes.
So download that on your phone, and it'll get your pairings. You can turn in your results, go paperless. It's just going to be a more convenient way to do it. So look into that if you would for. I think that'll also, if you don't already have one, it'll force you to create a Wizards account.
Yeah.
So getting that companion app, if you don't already have a Wizards account, force you to set one up. That's what I'm going to need for you to play. You don't have to have one of those either. I can just put you in it as a guest, and I guess since DCI numbers are bye-bye, it don't matter no more, but it'd just be easier if you can log in and I have something in there to put in, rather than always have to enter you as a guest, okay, for all my locals and regulars. I do still have MTG Arena codes for at-home FNMs.
Right.
If any of you are still playing those.
They're still going on. It will be Popper tomorrow night.
The Discord channel I created is sort of dead, but if you guys want to Facebook me a screenshot, I can still get you a code each week. I have those. You can send it to the Discord. I'm just not checking it very often because there's nothing going on there. I don't know where you guys are hanging out, but it's not on Discord.
Like I said, the FNM at homes are still going on, and it will be Popper tomorrow night if nobody's seen that. Build a Popper deck out of your collection and
go at it.
Go at it. So
Commons is good. The last thing I have here, well, not the last thing, the last little news item.
Right.
I think I mentioned it last week, but I couldn't remember because I got it about this time last week.
Yeah, you did mention it on the show.
I did mention it. Mystery Booster allocations came out. I know how many I'm getting. They're $140 a box for my local folks. Let me know if you want a box or two or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to reserve a certain number of them for drafting.
Right.
Here in the store once we get to do
Once
events
we can do
again.
some events, I'd like to get another. I got to do one mystery booster draft.
I
I'd
wouldn't
like to
mind
do
keeping enough to do drafts for
Ever?
the last half of the month. I mean,
Right.
to be honest, or last half of the year or something, if I could. But I've got several boxes of those coming, and WotC has donated those to the LGS. All that money gets to go to your LGS. So if you're not local and you're watching this, support your LGS. Buy those. Don't try to lowball them on them. Whatever they're charging for them, all that money gets to stay with them. I know that my price is really good because the last I heard, I think these things were like $160 or $180.
Yeah, they are
online.
Last I knew, they're
So
still around
$140 is
$160.
hot, and I'm sorry if you're not local, but these are my local people who want them. All right, and that's why I have the restrictions, you know. But I have those, and that'll be coming up. So, all right, we got a little bit to talk about on our history of Magic section, our 25 years ago in Magic. And again, this is becoming probably more of a once or twice a month thing, not an every week thing. It's hard to find right now enough stuff to really worth talking about.
Right. I've been waiting for when this came up because this is still like fundamentally when competitive Magic maybe changed all the, you know.
Yeah, so the first thing you ought to know is 25 years ago were the first U.S. the first nationals.
Yeah.
Not just U.S., but the first regional tournaments were played.
Yeah.
To qualify for Worlds play.
Yep.
So you played regional tournaments, you got to go to your nationals, and then there were Worlds.
Yeah.
The first Worlds was actually held the year before, and that was actually a little bit different the way they did it.
Right.
So anyway, that's kind of a cool thing. But another thing is that while doing the research, I stumbled on some writing and some references to something called the deck.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an old timer, you know what I'm talking about when I say the deck. If you're not an old timer, you don't know. If I say Brian Weissman and you're an old timer, it's going to click even more.
Yep.
So before we knew all the things that we know now about Magic, nobody knew nothing, all right? Nobody knew anything about Magic. And concepts that we think of today as second nature were foreign. They weren't developed. They weren't a thing. When people sat down and built decks, they didn't think about mana ratios.
Nope.
They didn't think about card draw. They didn't think about efficiency of creatures in the terms that we do now.
Right.
Mana curves and so forth. So the deck is the first time somebody actually took this is what you would call, there were control decks before this, but this is really the birth of what we know as modern control.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read you the list. I found a list, and this deck started one way, went another. There were bannings in the early days. This is a Type 1 vintage deck, is what it was at the time.
Yeah.
And it modified. This is how it existed in May of 1995, all right? This deck had 2 Sarah Angels, 4 mana drains, 2 counter spells, 2 red elemental blast, a time walk, a time twister, an ancestral recall, a brain geyser, a recall, 4 disenchant, 4 swords to plowshares, 2 moats, a demonic tutor, a mind twist, a regrowth, a chaos orb, still not banned as of May 95, 2 disrupting scepter, 1 JMD tome, 1 ivory tower, 1 black lotus, of course all the moxes. Soul Ring, 2 strip mines, a Library of Alexandria, still not banned as of May 1995.
Right.
4 City of Brass, 2 Volcanic Island, 4 Tundras, 3 Plains, 4 Islands. The sideboard had a Plains, a Disrupting Scepter, a JMD Tome, a Tormod's Crypt, 2 Control Magic, 1 Counterspell, 2 Blood Moon, 3 Circle of Protection Red, 2 Divine Offering, and another moat.
Yep.
That's how it existed in May of 95. And Brian Wiseman, I did a little reading, I'm not going to give it all to you here, was going to tournaments and like winning all day.
Yeah.
Or winning for 2 days, maybe losing a game or a match over a 2-day stretch at some of these bigger tournaments.
Yeah, he was just wiping the floor.
He was just wiping the floor in vintage Type 1, it was called at the time. So in a short essay in May of 95, Brian evangelized the merits of card advantage. Perhaps even coining the term. Bringing his argument to a crescendo, he explained that speed is not what wins the game of Magic. That is pure time-tested fact. What wins the game is simply more options and more cards.
Yep.
It was not simply his ability to articulate a concept that won him so many followers, but the precision which he was able to so concisely describe and illustrate it. If you can Swords to Plowshare a creature when your opponent has invested an enchantment or a giant growth or a bloodlust in it, you have gained a 2-for-1. When you cast a moat and nullify the attacking power of 3 creatures already in play, as well as innumerable creatures still to be drawn, you have taken potentially dozens of extra turns. The enduring legacy of Brian's ideas are evident everywhere in the universal acceptance of the role and importance of card advantage in the game of Magic. But anyway, he left a legacy behind, and he was the first one to recognize that play skill, I mean, everybody knew you had to know how to play, but people were copying decks. It's the earliest moments of the internet.
Right.
At some point, we'll talk about the dojo. I don't know if I already have or not. The earliest points of the internet. And people would copy decks, but you couldn't just copy this deck and just play it.
Yeah.
I mean, the deck only had, later versions I know only had 1 Sarah Angel in it, and the Sarah Angel was the only win condition. That's the only win condition in the deck, 1 Sarah Angel.
I guess you could brain geyser them to death is the only other
yeah.
win condition.
Yeah, brain geyser, you could brain geyser them to death, theoretically, sure. So anyway, very early control deck, very early concepts of just how to play Magic.
Yeah.
And so that's a little piece of history. I'll try to, as we come along, I'll try to bring up stuff like the Sly deck. Because that deck did want to win by being fast.
Yeah.
But this is the beginnings of control, and I thought that would make a nice little 25 years ago in Magic. This is what the deck looked like. And that was its name.
The deck, yeah.
That's the first time I knew. I mean, we knew White Weenie and Land Destruction and stuff. But the first, it's kind of weird that the first name of a deck I can ever remember is the deck.
The deck.
That's the name of it, the deck.
Yeah.
So, anyway, just a little piece of history for you. Hopefully you enjoyed
like that. Earn them and burn them.
Earn them and burn them, yeah. Did I see Shirley reply a while ago?
She didn't hear what we were asking about. We were asking about doing box breaks for the 2 Ikoria box breaks. What time next Wednesday evening would be the best?
Yeah, we need to do those separate from doing Reblogatog and the chatter, or else we'll be doing 4 things in one night. So 7, 8 o'clock, something like that. On Wednesday. So hopefully we can do that. All right, are we ready to get to the commons?
I think we are. It may end up being a little bit of a shorter show tonight, but
Not necessarily. I don't know. You got something else? I mean, that was the notes I had.
No, I really don't have much of anything else. I looked for a little bit of content, but there's not a
Most
lot.
of it's digitally related, and that doesn't pertain really to the
Right.
store. Companions are running rampant.
Companions, yeah.
I'm waiting to see it in paper, but it's running rampant on the internet. It looks like we're bound to get some of them banned
Yeah.
at some point, in at least Vintage and Legacy.
It looks like Luris eats a ban at least. Past that, it depends, but Luris
Right.
is, yeah.
So
In a format where everything's a permanent that costs
I haven't
less
even
than
played
two.
with the cards yet. I mean, I don't dispute what people are saying, just haven't played with them yet. So we're going to get to the commons. Pretty quick one is there are 3 colorless cards,
Yeah.
which we talked about those a couple weeks ago. Yes, it does, Frank.
Yeah.
I got those in yesterday. They look really sweet. So, of the 3 colorless cards, the only one really worth talking about
Yeah,
is Farfinder,
yeah.
which is 3 colorless, or 3 generic, I'm sorry, for a fox. It's a 1/1 with vigilance. I don't know if that's going to be relevant or not.
I don't know either.
It's a cute little thing, I'll tell you that. But when Farfinder enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle your library. Definitely something you want to think about throwing in there, especially if you're in 3 colors.
Yeah, the card's going to be wonderful. I mean, they give us a card like this not every set, but every few sets, especially when they're pushing colors. Back in Dominaria, we had Skittering Surveyor, and it was an artifact creature, but it was similar and stuff like that.
Yeah, this isn't a ramp card, it's a fixed card.
Right.
So it's to make sure you hit your land drops. It's not going to get it on the battlefield, it's going to put it in your hand, but it can ensure you get that 3rd color. Again, I don't know if that I would really recommend playing it in a 2 color.
Right.
You might, but you're probably naturally going to draw both colors. But in a 3 color, it's straight up gas for you.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and just take them in Wooburg order. We'll
Yep.
go to white.
White is where we'll start.
So what I kind of did is I just kind of stumbled through here looking at it.
Yeah.
And first off, Blade Banish is alphabetically the first one. It's a white and 3 instant. Exile target creature with power 4 or greater. This seems like excellent removal for the format. Mm-hmm. And you can take care of your mutate creatures, anything big.
Anything big, yeah.
Big and hard to deal with, this card's going to do it. So, excellent removal. If we take a look at that, we've also got Divine Arrow, which is a white and 1 instant, and it deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature.
These are always really good and limited.
It's a piece of removal, so when you're drafting, be looking for these things. And of course, we got Pacifism.
We got Pacifism.
Pacifism's always good removal.
Always solid.
So white has good removal there.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to play the human deck, which is something that you can do, you want to be looking for Perimeter Sergeants, because I think those are going to be really good for you. White and 2, it's a 3/2 human soldier. When he attacks, other humans you control get +1/+0 till end of turn.
That's going to be pretty good.
I don't know. I just kind of took over
Garrison
here.
Cat, yeah. Garrison Cat, it's just a 1/1 cat, and when it dies, you get to make a 1/1 white human creature soldier token.
So it's like your Doom Traveler of old, except the
Right.
Doom Traveler made a flyer when it died.
Right.
This makes you a human soldier. So again, good for your human deck, but it's 2 for 1 on your side. You
Yeah.
know, you get 2 1/1s for 1 ultimately out of that.
And that's just good.
And that's just good. Day Squad Marshal.
Day Squad Marshal, it's a 3/3 human soldier for white and 3. And whenever it enters the battlefield, you create a 1/1 human soldier token. Once again,
Yep.
making tokens, trying to just fill that board full.
Yeah, and again, these are great for your human deck, right? Snare Tactician.
Oh, yeah. This is a white and 2 for a 2/3 human soldier. And whenever you cycle a card, tap target creature and opponent controls. This one, because white's one of the big cycling colors, if you might be able to draft that white-red cycling deck, that's going to pay dividends.
So you want that if you're in the cycling deck, and you also want to try to pick up Draneth Healer.
Yeah, Draneth Healer, whenever you cycle another card, you gain a life. And it cycles for 1.
And it's a bear. It's a white and 1 for a 2/2.
We've got 2, I'm not sure about every color, but I think we've got about 2, at least in white, cycle 1 commons. We also have the Vantasaur, which is a 3/6 for a white and 5, and it has vigilance, but most importantly, it has cycling 1. So
And-
there are 2 common slots in that white where you can get cycling 1.
I, of course, would be remiss in my duties as the tender of the nut if I did not mention Helica. Where are you going?
Oh,
Helica Glider. Yeah, I got it memorized, but leave it there. Helica Glider is a white and 2 for a 2/2 Nightmare Squirrel. And when he enters the battlefield with your choice of a flying counter or a first strike counter on it, you got to play this guy. All right?
but it's a white squirrel. I'm confused.
It flies, though, baby.
It does fly.
It can fly.
We finally got a flying squirrel, and
Yes.
it's white. Anyway,
So that's what I've got in white. Did you have anything in
no,
white?
actually, I didn't
particularly?
really have anything else in white.
There's a lot of great stuff in white. Don't
there-
get us wrong here, but
No, there
we weren't
is.
going to go card by card. There's 100 and some of these.
yeah.
You guys don't want to be here till midnight.
No,
listening to us review every
I
card.
do want to hit real quick, even though it's not super powerful, on Light of Hope. It's just a good modal card that may find some use. Gain 1 white instant, choose 1, gain 4 life, destroy target enchantment, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. I don't really know how bad the enchantments in the set are going to get. I know it's not Theros, but there are several of them still. Some powerful ones in those rare slots. And modal cards are always
Yeah,
good.
usually the charm effects like that can be really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are other things here, but again, we weren't going to go over
Right.
every single card. There is Mutate. There's a Vulpikeet, so
Yeah, it gets
I think
+1/+1 and
I think
counters.
there's only 1 white common.
Yeah.
But Mutate's going to be a way that we're all going to try. I think.
Oh, for sure. It's just cool.
If we move to blue, some of the things I noticed, and so again, I've got my notes over here.
No,
but,
you're good. You're good.
is that first off, and I was going to look this up and didn't do it. Aegis Turtle is 1 blue for an 05. And I know white has gotten this before. I don't think they've ever gave blue that good
yeah.
for that casting cost before. This coupled with Crystation,
Yeah.
a blue and 3 for a 1/6 with flash, and it's a crab.
Yeah.
This means that the ground game is really plugged up by the blue player who just wants to slow you down, draw cards, and then kill you with that Sarah Angel.
Right.
No Sarah Angel here, but that one big fatty. And blue has got some. I mean, I'm not even a blue player, and blue seems like it has fantastic tools for just muddying the ground game up right here. That
It does.
flash 1/6 is major, I think, right
Yeah.
there. And maybe I'm looking at things wrong. I don't know, but I thought that was something else. As long as you got a plan for the flyers, and blue usually has flyers, But you've got Frostlinks is reprinted.
Reprinted here.
It's a blue and 1. It comes in, you get to tap a creature.
It's really handy too because it was already an elemental cat. It literally slides right into the
Slides right in. You've also got Capture Sphere, which is an enchantment for blue and 3. Enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature, and it doesn't untap during the untap step.
We've seen it very often. That's a little bit more cost. Oh, it's got flash. That's right. Okay.
It's got flash.
'Cause we saw
I'm
Water Knot for 2 blue and 1.
Yeah.
A few sets back.
And then Frost Veil Ambush, 2 blue and 3. It's an instant. You tap up to 2 target creatures. Those creatures don't untap during their controller's next untap step. It also cycles for 1.
Right.
So you can tap them down. It's got some counter spells with like Essence Scatters reprinted. And then Gust of Wind, which is a bounce spell.
Yeah. This is a pretty good spell.
Blue and 3, but it is a sorcery. But it costs 2 less to cast if you control a creature with flying and return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand and draw a card.
Pretty good.
There's some other bounce stuff, but
Yeah, and we got some. We got some reprints. You already mentioned Frostlinks.
we got a lot of reprints in blue.
blue. Yeah, we got
Anticipate,
Anticipate back. Essence Scatters in the set.
Frostlinks,
Frostlinks. We got an counterspell slot because
Convolute, I believe, is a reprint as well.
I was going to ask about
Yeah.
it. It's another Mana Leak is too good for standard, so here's a not as good version of Mana Leak. They give us Convolute.
Blue and 2.
Blue and 2, and a counter spell unless the controller pays 4. Of one mind, I don't know if you had it here on your list.
No.
I like this card, especially in limited, where you're just trying to put together whatever creatures you got.
Again, blue has a draw.
It's a blue and 2 sorcery, and this spell costs 2 less to cast. If you control a human creature and a non-human creature, draw 2 cards. To have a human creature and a non-human creature when you're just drafting whatever creatures you can get.
Yeah, are sealed. It's not going to be that difficult.
It's not going to be that difficult.
It's a divination most of the time.
And sometimes it's
one blue. It's 2/3 of a ancestor. Well, it's a sorcery.
It's a sorcery, but that's good card draw right there.
The other thing I wanted to mention was startling development. It's a blue and 1. It's an instant. Until end of turn, target creature becomes a blue serpent with base power and toughness 4/4. This is another one of your cycling 1 cards. This card I like because it has multiple applications here. It not only can it get one of your little guys pumped up when it's unblocked or something when it goes through, but it can also take one of the big guys down a notch.
Yeah.
And let you block it with one of those little creatures we talked about before if you needed to.
Oh, yeah.
Just to save your hide for a little bit. So just a lot of very interesting things you can do with blue, I think, there.
I think so. I think it looks really good for blue. What a surprise.
Shocking.
We can move on into black, which also looks pretty good and has some reprints.
So we've got some removal in that. We've got Blood Curdle, which is a black and 3. It's an instant. Destroy target creature. That's good.
That's good.
Put a menace counter on a creature you control.
That's better.
With upside. So you've got Blood Curdle. And then if you want to get a little funky, if you can pick up a Lurking Deadeye.
Yeah.
For a black and 3, it has flash. It's a 4/2. Not bad. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn.
That's pretty good.
And if you can pair that up with a mutual destruction for 1 black at a sorcery speed, which is kind of weird. I got you.
Yeah.
But this spell has flash as long as you control a permanent with flash.
Odd.
As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature and destroy a target creature. So those two kind of seem like they go together in various ways.
A little bit, yeah. I like that.
And of course the reprint of Deadweight.
Yeah, Deadweight, fantastic card. 1 black mana, enchanted creature gets -2/-2.
Yep.
That's good. You got something else?
Banishment Poacher.
Banishment Poacher. Oh, Bushmeat Poacher.
Bushmeat, sorry.
That's one I was going to bring up here.
Bushmeat Poacher, yes.
This guy is really good. He is a black and 3 for a 2/4 human soldier, and 1 generic and tap, sacrifice another creature. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Draw a card. That's really good. That's value right there. That's really
4 mana
value.
for a 2/4 with those abilities is very solid.
Yeah.
That's going to block quite a bit of stuff. It's going to let you cash in a creature that's already on the way to the yard to gain some life and replace itself.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something you should be watching for. And then I kind of liked it. Unexpected Fangs is a neat trick.
Unexpected Fangs. Yeah, it's a black and 1 instant, and you get to put a +1/+1 counter and a lifelink counter onto a target creature. It's
a nice combat trick.
Yeah, it is a good combat trick. Is that all? I was going to... We got a couple... we got Dark Bargain in here. That common, I think, is interesting. Maybe end up being more interesting, actually, and constructed. I don't know with all the stuff we're doing with top of library and graveyard shenanigans lately, but...
It's a nice card draw for black.
It's a black and 3 instant. You get to look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard, and then it deals 2 damage to you. I feel like that's probably a reprint, but I'm not 100% sure if it is or not.
I believe it is, but I didn't double check. I mean, we can...
I feel like it is, but I'm not 100% on that. Dominaria, it was just back in Dominaria.
It was in Dominaria, yes.
Okay. But yeah, it's really good, and it feels like it'll... And there's a corpse churn next to it that's very similar to the same card. It's a black and 1 instant to put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard, and then put a creature from your graveyard into your hand.
Yeah.
Keeps things moving for black in these limited games.
Yeah, and it's funny as it sounds, I've heard people talking about this Gloom Pangolin, a black and 2. It's a 1/5. It's just a vanilla creature, guys, but it's going to block a lot of stuff.
It's going to block a lot of stuff.
It's going to block a lot of stuff.
And it's a pangolin for all you pangolin
For all you pangolin fans.
Yeah.
That's right. All right, we will move along to Red.
Red.
Again, we're doing a review for those of you who maybe haven't played a lot of Sealed or Limited. This isn't an in-depth dive. Go see LSV and Marshall for those.
They are the
We are not going to compete with them, but we're trying to help you look at things in a different way, or for the first way when you come out and play in an event.
I just want to start off with Red right here, the very first card, even if it may not be the king of the Limited format. I'm just happy to see this for 1 mana. Blazing Volley, 1 red mana sorcery. Blazing Volley deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. We get stuff like that, but 1 red mana to do something like that. We had it back in Amonkhet.
Yeah, I thought that was a reprint.
But that's always nice, and probably more so when constructed at times. But
nice to take out tokens.
Nice to take out tokens.
Good thing to kill some of them human creatures, human tokens with.
Yeah, for 1 red mana, it's very nice.
So I was noticing that Drannith Stinger is a red and 1 for a 2/2. So it's a bear, but check it out. It's a human wizard that whenever you cycle another card, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. And it's a 1 mana cycler as well.
It's the red counterpart to the white Drannith Healer, where you gained life for every time you cycled. Now you're dealing damage to your opponent.
This is your payoff card if you draft the cycling deck. This is one of your payoffs. And then also we need to look at Prickly Marmoset, which is a red and 2 for a 2/3.
Yeah.
First strike. And whenever you cycle a card, Prickly Marmoset gets +2/+0.
Yeah.
Now that's pretty sweet.
But cycling 1 in the set.
That can grow pretty fast, and if you happen to come up with a little green card we'll be talking about in a little bit, you can turn that into a trampler. So, and that could be really good with first strike, you know what I'm saying? Spell Eater Wolverine was also pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, he's a red and 2 for a Wolverine. He's a 3/2. And Spell Eater Wolverine has double strike as long as there are 3 or more instant and or sorcery cards in your graveyard.
Like that, because usually with red you're playing spells.
You're playing spells.
And doing things like that, so it usually works out pretty good. And that double strike is pretty important.
Yeah.
Raking Claws also gives you double strike. It's a red and 1 for an instant. Target creature gains double strike till end of turn. Cycles for 2.
Really good.
So double strike, again, that's almost as good as trample sometimes. Oh, I'll let that little 3/3 through and I'll block your other big stuff. Well, the 3/3 becomes 6 and all of a sudden they're dead.
Right.
So, it can be really, really good. I was kind of struck for a little bit by Fire Prophecy not being horrible.
It's not horrible.
As a red player, won't you let
It's a red and 1 for an instant. And Fire Prophecy deals 3 damage to target creature. This is interesting because I don't know if I've ever seen this wording here before, if they've done this really before. You may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. If you do, draw a card. It's not horrible. You're right. That looks like the best they're going to give us for that burn spell, common removal.
Replace a land. You got an extra land in your hand, burn it down there and draw something new.
I mean, I'm used to seeing like rummage stapled onto red spells, but this put it on the bottom of the library is different. Like I said, I don't know if they've done that before, and I just haven't noticed it. That seems new to me.
Another thing they did was called Forbidden Friendship, which is a red and 1. It's a sorcery.
Yeah.
And this is a take on something like Krinko's Command.
Yeah.
Create a 1/1 red dinosaur creature token with haste and a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. So you get 2 tokens, just like you get 2 goblins with Krinko's Command, but you get one of them as a dinosaur with haste. So that's really better, unless you're playing Goblin Tribal. That's better because one of your guys has haste now.
I just want to point out for everybody, when you get to drafting and all this, there is another card that also costs a red and 1, is also a sorcery, is also red, and also has the exact same characters and almost identical art to Forbidden Friendship, but it is not the same card, guys. Cathartic Reunion. I keep seeing pictures of people online who have drafted the wrong one or stuff like that because they look, it's the same characters, it's just kind of mirrored.
the same artist?
Yep.
Yep, same artist.
But yeah, so there are 2 cards that look very similar. Like I said, they're both sorceries, both have the same casting cost.
Hug, no hug?
Yeah.
Fire, no fire?
The other one's a good card, too.
Cathartic Reunion.
Cathartic Reunion, red and 1, additional cost to cast it, discard 2 cards to draw 3 cards.
Yeah,
so
that's a reprint.
Yeah, it's just a tormenting voice all hyped up bigger. You know?
And of course, you got your mandatory banker there with Blister Spit Gremlin.
And it's a gremlin, so I'm happy.
It's a gremlin.
It's a red for a 1/1. I don't like that you have to pay 1 and tap him to deal a point of damage, but it does it to each opponent. And then he has, we've had some others like this in the past.
Red almost always gets something like this.
Yeah. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get to untap it.
There's usually something. Sometimes it's multicolored spell or something, and you untap. Lobber Crew back in the day. There's been several.
Yeah, electrostatic wall or something like that.
There's been several. So
we got a fight spell here at common too in red. I just wanted to bring up real quick the Go for Blood. It's a red and 1 sorcery. And just target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. It also happens to cycle for 1. Keep an eye on, like I said, it looks like there's 2 commons in each color that cycle for 1 mana. So keep an eye on those. That's going to be important to help keep things moving along. And I thought that was just a good card. So,
all right. So moving on to green. I think you're definitely going to want Essence Symbiote if you do the Mutate deck. It's a bear, a green and 1/2/2, but whenever a creature you control mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature, and you gain 2 life.
Now,
that's pretty sweet.
This is so sweet that I have to bring up once again, Mr. Green Player, you really telling me they're not giving you too many good toys? That's 2 mana, common, with 2 awesome abilities for whenever you do the premier ability of the set, and it's on a bear body.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to get. Look back through the sets. You'll see we've been getting that for years.
Okay.
Seriously. Bears, that's been so... Take a stroll through the past and we can show you that.
I know. That's a really good card. It just keeps doing stuff.
We get a nice reprint in Fertilid, so that is a nice little ramp card because it does put it on the battlefield. Mm-hmm. So if you're not familiar with it, I'm not going to read it. It's a reprint.
It's a reprint. We still have...
It'll fix or ramp you a little bit. So
we still have some +1/+1 stuff, and that's for standard, but we still have some +1/+1 stuff around to see Fertilid tricks going off.
So I was talking a while ago about a little green card that might help you out with that red card, and that's Fully Grown. It's a green and 2. It's an instant. It's a giant growth on steroids, basically.
Yes.
Target creature gets +3/+3 till end of turn. Put a trample counter on it. Put a trample. So that double striker with trample all of a sudden gets really, really, really good.
Really? From playing the little bit I did play, I played 1 sealed event on Arena. I'll go ahead and jump onto one right here, and that's Migratory Greathorn. This thing's awesome. It's one of our mutate creatures. It's a green and 3. It's a 3/4. Mutates for just a green and 2 though. And whenever it mutates, you search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. Man, if you had that in your opening hand, I didn't care what I got down on turn 2 as long as I got down a creature, because turn 3 I'm mutating that creature and ramping.
Yep.
It's really good. They can 2 for 1 me in a turn or 2. That's okay. I'm going to get some lands first.
And of course, maybe my favorite card in the whole set. I don't know. But Ram Through is a green and 1. It's an instant, as it should be. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. If the creature you control has trample, excess damage is dealt to that creature's controller instead. I plan on putting Colossification on something and killing somebody.
Yeah, I know you do.
If I can't do that at least half a dozen times while this set's legal, then I have failed. So I want all the trample I can get. So I want those trample counters. I want the trample creatures. I want to do the things is what I want to do.
Wants to do the things.
I do, yeah.
We got Survivor's Bond, if we want to touch on it real quick. I figured that's probably where you were going next.
Yep.
I think we actually talked about this a week or 2 ago, or on Blogger. I feel like we talked
Somewhere
about
we talked about it, yeah.
I think it's really good because it's a double regrowth almost. It's our green and 1 sorcery. You can choose one or both. Return target human card from your graveyard to your hand. Return target non-human creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That's awesome. 2 mana, 2 creatures.
And again, when you're playing sealed or limited, you're not going to be all loaded up on just humans or just non-humans.
No, it'll be easy
so
to have.
So a lot of times you're going to get 2 for it, and that's the same cost as a regrowth.
And you're going to get 2 cards.
2 cards. Hopefully you're going to get 2 cards a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But even if you get it half the time, that's better than a regrowth.
Yeah.
But you only get a creature.
You can only get creatures with it, but
sure.
yeah. But in limited and being able to 2 creatures, that's really good.
That's mainly what you want back anyway.
We got Wilt here. I'll throw in real quick. It's not cycling 1, it's a cycling 2, but it's our naturalized for the set that also cycles, which is just good.
Just means it's a better naturalized.
It's a better naturalized.
They just printed a better naturalized. Is what they did. I've got to throw out a shout out because I'm a non-fog player, even though I love green. But thwart the enemy is a fog I can get behind.
Oh yeah.
Green and 2, instant, prevent all damage that would be dealt this turn by creatures your opponents control. My creatures still do damage, but not yours.
One-sided fog is
That's
nice.
a fog. That's a fog I can get behind. I can get behind that one because something's still going to happen.
Something's still going to happen, yeah.
Yeah, when nothing happens, it just seems like it was a waste. But as long as something happens, I'm killing your stuff or killing you, it's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good. I stop your stuff, my stuff kills. Yeah, that's all fine. So I'm down with that. Anything else in green? You good with green?
I think I'm pretty good with green. Okay. We do have a mana dork in here just to throw out. The Humble Naturalist.
2 mana dork.
Yeah, he's a 2. We don't.
But it's a 1/3.
It's a 1/3 for a green and 1. Adds mana of any color.
Yeah, but
it can only be spent to cast creature spells.
Yeah, so not
in this limited environment. That will probably be pretty good. You're going to be
in your limited environment. Yeah.
Yeah, but
can't cast ram through with it. So
no.
I don't know. There's only a couple of common artifacts, and they're fine. They're fine. Sleeper Dart, I think, is better than I'm giving it credit for.
Yeah, just because you draw a card when it
2 mana, enters the battlefield, draw a card, so it replaces itself.
Yeah.
And then just tap and sacrifice it. Target creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. So it replaces itself. It's usable right away.
It's cheap. It's 2 mana.
2 mana to tap something down. It could let you get 1 more creature through.
Yeah.
Springjaw Trap is probably okay.
Yeah.
Flash for 1 mana, then for 4 taps, sacrifice it, deals 3 damage to any target. Could be a finisher.
Could be a finisher.
Could be removal.
Yeah.
You know, that's your 5 mana lightning bolt. That's instant speed. It's got flash.
When I said I wanted lightning bolt back, I didn't mean 5 mana.
Well, it only costs 1, just costs 4 to activate.
Oh, just. We talk about lands. We have the gain land cycle in here and evolving wilds.
So if you're splashing in a 3rd color, look for the gain lands.
Yes.
Look for an evolving wilds or 2. A gain land and an evolving wilds, and like 1 of the 3rd color source is usually enough to splash 1 or 2 cards.
Now,
just three sort that give you 3 ways to get there. As long as it doesn't have double casting cost, usually gives you enough.
Right.
You don't need like 5 planes to splash 1 white card.
No.
If you had a gain land, an evolving wilds, and a plains to splash 1 white card, you'd be all right. So that's kind of where we're at. That's the set, guys.
That's the set. Yeah.
That's a set. We are coming up a little short. Have we got any questions? There's been any comments out there that we've missed? I don't know. Alan's usually the one following along.
Not that I have seen.
Did Shirley ever get back to us on a time or?
No, but we'll just say between 7 and 8 on Wednesday.
I'll post it as soon as I know what time we'll be doing them, guys. But we'll be doing that box opening on Wednesday night next week because I'll get the stuff in on Wednesday, and we'll get the box opening done Wednesday night for Ikoria.
Not that this really makes any difference to what we were talking about review-wise, but I know how I had said how much I love the comic book art, the showcases we're going to be getting with this set. Just flipping through here, even on just the commons, they did a fantastic job in art in this set in general. Man, a lot of it is very... it's more...
This Essence Symbiote, man.
Yeah.
That is one evil-looking little blue fox thing, isn't it?
Yeah, whatever.
It's a beast, but it's...
Kind of... bat meets.
They're
I don't
really
know.
on the foxes. If you notice, there's been a lot of foxes of late. You know, the little
That's right.
the little coldest. The Farfinder is a fox. You know.
I don't know, but the artwork in this set, just a lot of it is really good. The style they've been going back towards, it seems a little less digital than they got for a little while, and it's very, I don't know, even the stuff that's not the special comic book showcase art still feels a little bit like that comic art to me. There's really good line work in a lot of this, and like I said, it's not the same as the showcase stuff by any means.
Right.
But I really like the art direction where it's been headed the last set or two, and this set just looks beautiful.
The Vulpikeet is a fox bird.
The fox bird, yeah. And right there next to it, there's a fox bird on the card on
Spontaneous Flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So foxes have gotten a lot of representation lately, I've noticed. So
Yeah.
That's something I've been noticing. Questions, comments?
Wow, I didn't even notice this. I know that Seb McKinnon, he did all the mythoses. Look at Essence Scatter. Doesn't it look like it could be the blue mythos spell almost? It's the same style as kind of that parchment background with something. It almost looks like a mythos.
Could
and
be.
It's Seb as well. I was like, oh.
Maybe he screwed up and just used it
on something else.
Used it on something that's been printed a bajillion times, you know.
So but no, the set looks fantastic. I can't wait to get it in my hands next week, guys. We'll all have a blast with that. I hope everybody here local has the opportunity to come out to one of our 8-man events we're going to be firing off and mutate something.
Mutate something, play some Magic. Hopefully June we get back to some organized play. If all these states opening up don't cause some kind of huge relapse in the infection rate. So none of us want that. But we got to get our economy rolling. We've got to have some existence. Life is more about quality than quantity. I mean, you may feel differently than me, but I think quality over quantity. I don't got a death wish or nothing, but we've got to be able to do something, you know. So, any further comments from anybody? I don't see anybody saying anything.
I don't believe. I think we're about wrapped up a little early this week.
All right, guys. Yeah, we're going to pull up a little bit short, but that'll be it. We'll be back next week here at Grove Gamers Guild with Chatter the Squirrels, because this is where everybody
knows your game.